Hello students again. Now we're going to start again with our class. Yeah? Okay, the topic for today, now we have to start with Unit 11 and then the lesson is what were you doing? We have for grammar the past simple and past continuous. Now we start. We start at first with the vocabulary. Now repeat. Competition, adventure sports, skydiving, base jumping, sky suits, wingsuits, overslept, babysitting, jog, choral, volunteer, cage, erase, hung. Okay, now we start with the grammar. Yeah, here is. Now we start with the past simple. We use the past simple when we talk about finished actions and events. Remember, they have finished in certain time of the past. Yeah? Okay, then we have regular verbs. For regular verbs, we have to add only the ed. Then we form the simple past as start or finish. Then when I make a sentence, I start at first with the subject pronoun. I, you, he, she, it, we, or they. Then we continue with the verb in past. And then we finish with the predicate. For example, I start college in 1999. Remember that for simple past, in regular verbs, we have rules. Yeah. Here are the some of them. Yeah. Okay. Now we have at first two-syllable verbs ending with y. We have to drop the y, and then we have to add ied, like study, studied. Yeah. The verbs ending with e, we only have to add the e. Yeah. Many verbs ending in vowel plus consonant, but not ending in w, x, or y, we have to double the consonant, like travel, traveled. In the case of travel, there is the e and the l. Yeah. Then we have the vowel and the consonant. In the case of stop, stopped. Then we have o, and the p is the last consonant. Stop, stopped. Yeah, as I told for you before. Now we continue with the next, and then we're going to practice. Yeah, you have to fill in the blanks with the verb in past. The example is John married Emily last year. The verb was marry. What happened with Mary? As it's ending in y, then I have to drop. Remember, you have to drop the y, and then you have to add ied. Yeah, I wait for you 2 seconds, 20 seconds, excuse me. Remember that you have to do this in your notebook. Yeah, you have to write in your notebook. Answer day. Okay, now I'm going to show for you the answers. Yeah? And there is, she carried, they stopped, the children hurried, John tried, and Peter planned. Here you have the answers. Yes? For the sentences. Okay, now continue with the next. And there is, the past continuous tense is used to describe actions that began in the past and often continues only for a short time of period after the action started. This tense describes actions or events that happen at a specific time in the past, and these actions are usually no longer happening at the time the sentence is being said or written. Okay, this tense is called past continuous or past progressive. Yeah, both are right. Now, what's the structure for past continuous? We have at first the subjects, the subject pronouns. For the affirmative is I, he, she, it, the verb to be, the verb with ing. Yeah. For example, I was sitting, and with the subject pronouns with you with they, then you have to use the verb in past and the verb with ing. For example, you were sitting. In negative form, we have again the same subject pronouns. I, he, she, it. The verb in this case is wasn't, and the verb with ing. I wasn't sitting. For subjects, you with they, the verb to be in past plus the verb with ing. You weren't sitting. When I make a question, I have to write at first the verb to be, and then I continue with the subject pronoun and then with the verb with ing. For example, was I sitting? And when I have you with a, the subjects, I have to use at first the verb to be in past and the verb with ing at last. Yeah? Were you sitting? Okay, now we continue with the practice. Yeah? Here is complete the following sentences using the correct form of the past progressive tense of the verbs provided. The example is like I have the subject they, I have to use were. Yeah? They were in the verb with ing. They were standing on the corner when I saw them. Okay, now I wait for you. Then please, again, fill it on your notebooks. I wait for you 20 seconds. Okay, the time is over. Now we start with the answers. And there is the sun. The sun is it. Remember? Then I have to use was. Yeah? The sun was shining when I woke up this morning. Number 2, it. I use the verb to be in past and the verb with ing. It was raining when I left the office. I, the verb to be is was, the verb with ing. I was eating dinner when you called me. Number 4, she got very sick while she traveled, was traveling overseas. Now, number 5, Martin is he, then I have to use the verb to be in past, that is was, and the verb with ing. There is Martin was working in the garden when it started to rain. Yeah. Now here you can look at the answers. Yeah. There you have all of the answers that I told for you before. Okay. Now we're going to mix both the past continuous and the past simple. Yeah. When we use these two tenses together, it shows us that the past simple action happened in the middle of the past continuous action while it was in progress. Yeah. Then, while I was studying, I suddenly felt sleepy. Yeah. Then, this shows for you that the past continuous happen at the middle of the past continuous. Yeah, we often use these tenses to show an action interrupting another action. I broke my leg when I was skiing. As I was going to work, I saw an old friend. We were watching television when the power went off. Yeah. Then if you see, I broke my leg when I was skiing. Yeah. There is an interrupting action. Now, can you see a difference in the meaning of these two sentences? When the guest arrived, Jen was cooking dinner. Or when the guest arrived, Jane cooked dinner. In the first, en la primera oración, when the guest arrived, Jane was cooking dinner. Jane started cooking dinner before the guest arrived. We know that because it uses the past continuous. In the second sentence, when the guest arrived, Jane cooked dinner. The guest arrived first, and then Jane started cooking. Yeah? Now we continue with the next. And there is past continuous. Look at the highlighted. Yeah? The highlighted in what? In yellow. They are the highlighted verbs in the extract form. The interview in exercise 4. The interview in the interview. Okay. Then now you're going to answer the questions. Yeah? And the little reading says this. She was sitting on an airplane in the airport when her 1-year-old child, when she saw a fire from the window, while the other passengers were running to the exits. Maria climbed out of the window. Yeah? Okay, number 1. Do all the highlighted verbs talk about the past? What do you think? Yes, of course. All of them are in past. Number 2. Which verbs describe a completed action? Of course, was sitting, were running, yeah? Which verbs describes actions in progress at a particular time? In a particular time is the past continuous, yeah? Of course. Then, number 4. How do you form the past continuous tense? What is the auxiliary verb? Remember, I form the past continuous at first with the verb to be in past, was or were. What is the form of the main verbs? All of they are with ing. Now we continue and we're going to practice, yeah? Fill in the gaps using the verbs in brackets in the past continuous and past simple. Here I have an example. What you were doing when something suddenly happened, yeah? What you were doing is the past continuous. The linker is when, and then I have the last that is with past simple. Something suddenly happened. Happened, there is the verb in past. Yeah? Then, as you see, I start at first with the sentence with past continuous, and I finish with the sentence with past simple. But I have to use the linker. Yeah? The linker. Okay, letter B. Fill the gaps using the verbs in brackets in the past continuous and past simple. Yeah? As in the example. Then remember, again, you have to use the notebook and then you have to fill in the blanks with the correct answers. I wait for you again 20 seconds. Okay, now we start. The time is over. Yeah? Now we start with the number 1. There is I was watching TV when a bird, the verb in past tense, flew into the window. Number 2. The Prime Minister was relaxing on holiday while the country was in crisis. Colin was having a shower when Angelina knocked on the door. We were having a coffee when we heard the news on the radio. The riots were starting when the president visited the country. Frank was picking his nose when the accident happened. The earthquake was beginning when we played chess. Okay, now here you can look at the answers. Yeah. Okay. Now we finish with this. Okay. Now you are continuing with teacher Andy for the class, and then okay, this is all for me. And remember, I miss for you, children, and then I'll see you for the next class.